Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So this week is a little bit different. This is my P week using absolutely nothing except die, stamps and ink blending. So let's jump in and see how this one all came together. Alright, so this is going to be a very different, almost a challenge week, but I was really inspired by this really cute stamp and die collection from Lawn Fawn. This is the Be Happy set. I love peas. I don't know why I love peas. I just think they're the cutest things in the whole wide world. So I have kind of been inspired by that. So what I've done, I've been really super organized for you guys. And I have already pre-cut out or pre-done a lot, which for me is really rare because I usually just sort of come into this with nothing and go, let's see what I can create. So I've had a bit of a practice with some different things, and then I've cut myself out a bunch of peas and a bunch of dies, but I still wanted to be able to show you guys sort of how I have coloured these in. So I have deliberately not done as many of the little, I'm going to call them pea boats. That's not actually what they are, but I'm calling them pea boats. I haven't done as many of those as I would like to on purpose so that I can show you guys that part and how I've been cutting them out and everything like that. But before we get into that, oh my god, hello. See just how cute is that little guy? He's just adorable. Oh, love peas. But before I sort of go crazy with that, I've also made a cool flipper that I'll show you guys afterwards. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to ink blend. And I've just realised that something I wanted to do actually isn't going to work. So I'm going to have to think about how I do this. Yes, it will work. I'll just have to be a bit clever about it. So I'm grabbing a piece of baking paper. And I'm getting this because I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending on the top here. So all of the colours I've been using are just basically all green. So I've been using my alcohol markers, and then I've been using these distress inks. So I've got Twisted Citron and Lucky Clover. So I'm going to be sort of using the, not sort of, I will be using the ink blending, not ink, yeah, the marker blend. Oh my god. I will be using the Oxides to do some ink blending. I'll get my words. So the first thing I need to do is kind of mark off where I don't want the ink to be. So I'm just grabbing some washi. Any washi will do. I'm just rubbing it on my clothes so it doesn't stick quite as much. And I am sticking down. I don't know yet if I want to do a really harsh line or if I want to do a bit softer with the ink blending. So I'm sticking down a piece of paper so that if I choose to do, it's easier to add the diffused sort of look than it is to take the ink away once I've done it. So what I want to do, I want to have another shot at that. I just pulled that one off. So I'm just getting that again because I didn't stick down the paper very well. So I want the washi to be on my actual line and the paper to be under there. And the paper's just there to protect the rest of the page. That's all that's there for. So then I'm going to go ahead and put down my ink. So I'm going to start with Twisted Citron because that's the lightest of the colours. I'm just using my brush. I have been using it for something else today, so it's got a little bit of brown on it. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a rub. Get rid of a little bit of the excess. And then we're just going to go ahead and put this down. So I'm just looking, it's really not green. Yeah, there it is. So I'm just looking for a nice sort of blend because I'm going to add in some deeper green in a second. So just putting that down. It does still look a little bit brown, but that's okay. Because everything else on the page is green. Having a slightly different shade of green is not actually a bad thing. And you can go all the way down here if you want, because obviously that paper's protecting us anyway. So then once I've sort of got that first run of colour down, I just realised I can actually do that one here. Duh. We can get a little bit of the darker green. We can add this to the blend. So what I've been doing with all the other bits, because you'll see all the other bits and pieces that I've been doing, you'll see that a little bit later. Kind of run the Lucky Clover all over the whole thing, and then I'd go back in with Twisted Citron and add the sort of bright green back in again, because I really like that pop of bright green. And when you see some of the peas that I've done, I've kind of got some that have a deeper green and some that have that pop, so it kind of all works in together. So this is kind of a challenge week. this is an inspired by week, but I'm not going to use a single sticker or a single bit of washi tape on the page. This doesn't count. I'm using it as a protection, not as a feature. So I'm going to see if I can do a whole week and not use any stickers or washi tape, which I know I can do, but it's slightly different, I guess, to what I normally do. So I'm just adding in a little bit more of that twisted citron, which now you can see is sort of bringing that green, that really vibrant green back in. There we go. All right. So once I've got that down, I'm actually going to stamp in. Oops. Remember not to do that. I'm going to stamp in. I'm just going to pull this off first because I want to see what that looks like. So this is the ink blending that I've done on some banners, and the banners are going to sit down there. I think I like the really strong line. And the strong line then means that I can do the same thing the whole way along. Yeah, we'll do that. So I'm going to grab the stamps in, and they've got these really cute little vine shapes. So you've got a heart, you've got a little swirl, and then you've got kind of like a, I don't know what you call that, another loop-de-loop. So I'm going to use that to sort of design my washi. So I'm just going to stamp it along the top. So I'm just grabbing my ink block, and my ink. I'm using Memento ink because it just gives you a much crisper and it doesn't sort of react badly with anything. So I'm going to start with the little swirly, and it's basically just making like a vine along the top. That's all I'm doing. So I'm going to leave the August there because I might actually cover him up with some peas afterwards. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. So I'm just going to ignore that for now. And because we've already got this baking paper down behind it, I can really, actually, I can throw things. That's what I can do. I'm just going to put that washi tape back down again, or another bit, because then I can go off the edge and it will still look clean. When I do this for the other ones, I won't take that protective paper off, but I wanted to show you guys, I wanted to see myself what that looked like. So we'll grab that back in, and we're just going to stamp along. I'm going to show you this one, but then for the next lot, like when I do the other edges, I won't show you guys this. I'll just speed through. So I'm alternating between the little vines, and that way you'll get a nice kind of variation. And just by spinning them around and kind of joining them up, that's how you'll get it to look kind of like washi tape. Kind of like washi tape. Sort of the idea I'm going for with the ink along the top. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for the bottom and the top of the other page, and I'll be right back. So I've done all my ink blending and all my stamping. Certainly haven't finished stamping, but I have a lot on my hands, so I'm just going to give my hands a bit of a wipe. I'm also going to clean off the ink from my vines because I don't think I'm going to be using those again. You don't have to go to that extreme, but I think the effect in a second when I pull this off, you guys are going to see, and you're going to go, yeah, that's so worth it, because I love it. I think it's great. I have to excuse my slightly croaky throat too. I have a feeling I'm getting sick again. I've been good, I swear. Okay, I'm just going to pull this off really gently. Now I had a couple of mishaps through that. The first one was I accidentally, hold on, trying to get rid of all the noisy stuff. I accidentally made a bit of a tear over here when I was taking something off, and I also must have dropped my blending tool at some point on there, so it's going to have a bit of a green tinge to it. I think that's okay, considering how green this already is. I don't think it's a problem. Alright, so like I said, I have a bunch of dies already all cut out. My favourite thing about these is that you can give the peas all little faces. So what I've done is coloured them all in, all the peas, but I haven't put faces on all of them. And that's so I can show you guys how I do all the blending and put all the little stampies on. But before we get to that, we need to put our days of the week in. So I have done a bunch of these banners. So these are from the fancy wavy banners that I got in my Hobby Hoppers haul last week. I've done 8 of them so that I've got one for every day, and I'm just going to cut them. So I'm going to place them where I want it, and then I'll just cut off the excess afterwards. I'm just going to stick them down with glue tape, and then I'm going to use and this is an oldie but a goodie, the Lawn Fawn Plan On It calendar set, which has got all the days of the week and all the months and everything. So it shows to put the days back in again. So these ones have been ink blended the same way these ones have, but they just had a little bit of water added to them, which just oxidizes and makes it look kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these all down. I'm just going to sort of put the glue on, pick it up, sort of place it down where I want it. And I'm not paying any attention to the line whatsoever because I just want it to go where I want it to go. And then I'm going to try and keep them kind of close to the same length. And we're just covering the days up. Okay. Move my little peas out of the way. I'm just having a look at it and seeing if there's a side I like better. I like that one with the big dot, big water dot. Never thought about using a die to cover up my days of the week before. It's always a sticker. It's just always a sticker. Look at how clever we can be. So this one at the top is going to be a little bit different because obviously we've got the August there. So I'm just going to slightly bend that. I still haven't decided what I'm going to use to cover that, but I will use something to cover that. And then we'll just cut off all the excess. If you wanted to, you could actually keep these, like the ends of the banners. You could use them in another project. I do love the combo of these two greens. They look awesome. Oh, that actually looks really cool. And then we're going to stamp in the days of the week. Now I'm just trying to decide. Yeah, I could use the circles, and I think the circles would be fine. I just don't like them. Alright, so we're going to do Thursday first. I'm a little worried I've made Wednesday too small, but we'll deal with that in a sec. Okay, so Thursday is the 22nd. This is a very clever stamp set in that they actually have given you 2 twos, which is nice. So I like to sort of, when I'm working with stamps, it's hard when you're working with your little ones, but kind of place it down where I want it, and then pick it up with my ink, with my acrylic block. I don't know why I always struggle with that word. And that way you can sort of see where they're going to go a little bit easier. Yeah, my Wednesday's going to be way too small. It's alright, we'll deal with that in a sec. I'm trying to put the 22 as close together as I can, because these are a little sticky. They do stick to you, so just be aware. Might need to play with that a little bit. This on. Now I was a bit smart when I did that, and I put this acrylic block has lines, so I've lined the line up with the little line on the side of the planner page. And that way I know it's going to be exactly where I want it to be. Haha. So I'm just going to show you guys Wednesday, because that's the one I'm a little worried about, and I think I might have to change this. Obviously Wednesday is going to be the 21st, so I don't need my second two, but I can put my first one in. There always has to be one day that's just so long. Actually, that's going to work. It will fit. So I'm not going to be quite so clever with that one, only because I've got that in the right spot and I don't want to sort of mess around with it. There we go. Ha-ha! So I'm going to go ahead and finish that up the page, and I'll be right back. that's what the page looks like once I'm finished this side. I'm just going to go ahead and do the other one super quick because that obviously took a little while and you guys get the hint. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's what it looks like once all the flags are in. I actually think that looks really cool. So now I'm going to sort of start trying to work out what I'm going to do to cover up that August. And it's very easy to put a pea boat there. I just don't want to. I think I'll just put some peas. Just put a couple of random peas along the top. And that'll hide them. Actually, well, I'm also going to, when I cut out some pea boats, I'm going to show you how I cut out the pea boats. I'm just going to grab a bit of white cardboard, just plain white cardboard. I'm going to do just two of these ones, which is the one with the little line, and just one of these. I'm also going to grab the leaves, and I'm just going to cut out a few leaves as well. So all I'm going to do is just stamp these out, and then we'll grab the alcohol markers in and colour them. Alright, so I just did 10 of the little leaves. I probably won't use 10, but anyway. So I'm using my Aldi graphic markers, and I'm using yellow green, vivid green, and peacock green. And between the three of them, I can get a reasonably nice sort of pea looking green. And it just depends if I want the sort of, just to give you a bit of a sort of look at it. That's the one that I can do when I get the yellow in. So that's obviously got the yellow green in the middle. That one's got the peacock and just the vivid. So it's sort of a funny combination. So I put, and I only do it for this one because usually when you're blending with alcohol markers, you should put the lightest colour down first. But because I'm kind of blending these to get a different kind of green, it doesn't really matter so much. So I'm just putting the dark colour down first. And because we're colouring the whole thing, it doesn't matter if you don't stay within the lines on the side like I just didn't do. I'm just leaving a little bit of white, which allows the vivid green to be more of a highlight in those spots. And we're going to colour this one in too. So then we're going to put some of this vivid green in, and you'll see then it sort of changes the colour. So it makes it a little bit more of a pea green as opposed to a peacock green. And because I left that little bit of white, you can see it's just got that little bit of highlight in the middle there. Do the same thing on the bottom bit. Again, just got that little bit of highlight. And then with the stem, make it all green first. And I'll just let it dry for a sec. And I just grab Cool Grey, which is just CG1, and I'm just adding in just a little bit of darkness on the top. You can barely see it, at least at the start. But then when I put some more green over the top, it's very subtle, but the deepness is there, which is what I sort of am looking for. You guys might be able to see that, I'm not sure. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the others. I'm doing the same thing with the leaves. So we'll go around the outside of the leaves with the peacock. And then just in that little middle bit there, I'm just leaving it white. Because then when I go in with the vivid, it'll have that sort of highlight bit in the middle. So I'm just going to go ahead and colour these all in, and I'll be right back. So I just wanted to show you really quickly just a little trick. So if you are using alcohol markers and you kind of just miss the line a little, I just did a couple of times here, grab your colourless blender and you can almost push the ink back into where you want it to be. So it's just on this one. It's not going to completely erase it, it just makes it a little bit less stark. So in a second you won't be able to see that quite as much. Alright, so while that's doing its thing, I need to cut these out. This is going to take a minute as well, so I'm going to speed through it. I'm going to do the first one and then I'll speed through it. I'm just going to cut out, whoops, forgot about those peas. Just cut the line up. and the top off just so it sits on my cutting plates nicely. Just grabbing the dies. Obviously just grabbing the leaf shape and the pea shape. So I'm going to cut them all out, and then I'm going to come back and show you how you put there's a little slit that you can use for the pea that then makes it open it up to be like the pea boat. So I'm going to cut all these out first, run them through the die machine one by one. This is why I did a lot of them off camera, so that you guys didn't have to see this hundreds and hundreds of times. So just using a little bit of washi tape is just the perfect way to hold these dies in place. Whoops. Or knock them out of the way in that case. And obviously cutting out the 10 little leaves is a bit of a pain, and I'm going to end up with tons and tons and tons and tons of leaves and peas and stuff that I don't need, but I think that's okay. I'm sure I'll find a way to use the peas. So I'm just going to chuck these through the die cutter. So while I run the next one through, I'm going to show you using this one how I use the splitter. Oh, I just love popping them out. The girl on the Lawn Fawn video says that too. Makes me very happy. Makes me happy too. I think her name's Kelly. I am seriously got to start watching Lawn Fawn videos. It's really bad for my health and my bank balance. So on here too, there's this little strip one. Whoops. Threw away the pea. So the idea with this is that you place it down just on that little pea cut line, and then it makes it so you can actually slide the little peas in here. So I'm going to do that with both of the ones here. I'm just going to line that up, stick it down again, go. Send that through. Then you can see when you pull this little bit off, it's got a nice little cut through it, so I can put the little peas sort of in there, which is what we'll do in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting all of these out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so all of my leaves are now all cut out, as are all of my little pea boats. Just put them all on this little thing. The only thing I still need to stamp along the way is just the little faces on the peas, but we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm going to use the leaves on this side to cover up the August, and on this side I'm going to put some peas. Now I can do this with two ways. I can either send them, well actually three ways, lots of different ways. I'm just going to keep using glue tape because that's my comfortable way to stick things down, but if you want to use liquid adhesive or use like run them through the sticker maker, that would work too. I'm just going to sort of line these up along the top. Hopefully I don't need to use all of them because I do want some in other places. I did do 10 for a reason. And that's just a little hint too, like if you think you're going to use more, it's so much easier to cut them all out at once than it is to come back and do it later. If you're short one or two. My experience anyway. But also if you've got a little bit of scrap paper left over, like a little bit of white cardstock, and you're just sort of thinking, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, just stamp out a couple of little things and colour them in, and then you've got them for next time. So I'm just going to put that little one, that leaf there, so it looks like it's coming off the vine. Now it is just a little bit too high, so I am going to trim it off, only because it's seriously like 1/2 mil, so it doesn't look silly to cut that off. But you could leave them. And on the other side, I'm just going to put some peas. So I'm going to put this little guy. I'm going to put a couple of the... We might put 2 peas and then a leaf on there as well. So we'll do those 2. This is where tweezers come in handy if you don't have fingernails. So now we need to put some of these peas into some boats and make them look like they're hanging around. I need to cover up this little boo-boo over here. And then the other peas I'm kind of just going to have, not floating around, but just, I want to have these ones looking like they're jumping out. It's actually an idea for a magic picture changer I've got, which isn't a new idea, I've seen it on YouTube, but it's just something I would love to try. So I'm going to have those three sitting there like that, and I'm going to have them sort of whooshing. And then over here, I'm going to try and put, I'm just going to put 3 in here. There we go, I'm going to have them sitting in there like that. So to do that, to glue them in, the way I find it the easiest is to actually put the glue tape down on the bottom. So it's not on the top bit at all, it is a little bit, but not much. And then just place them in there. This guy in the side. And I'll put their faces on in a second too. So I'll put those two sort of in the sides there. And then because we've got the glue on the bottom, they're already stuck. So before I stick him down, I'm going to put the faces on him. So this set comes with tons and tons and tons of little faces. And they're so super cute. So I'm going to grab a little winky face. And then just a little happy face. And I'm going to put some cheeks on one of them as well. So your 2 little peas. Just making sure I don't lose my little faces. So I'm just grabbing some lipstick ink. And just grabbing the little cheeks. I'm just going to put that on the little winky one. Oh, so cute. And then on my jumping one here, I'm going to put the little glasses on this one. Reminds me of like a Harry Potter pea. That's what I call him, my Harry Potter pea. It's not the best impression ever, but that's okay. And then we'll put him just in there. Just going to try and make it so he doesn't cover up too much of the other ones. So there you go, you got the little 3 in the boat. Then just put a lot of tape on the back. You can stick that one down over there. Now if you wanted to, you could connect that up with some vines. I don't want to. I think it's fine to stay the way it is. Then we're going to stick these ones down. Same thing, I'm going to put the little vine down first, or the little pea boat down first. Put that down the bottom. I'm waiting for you all to go, you actually haven't done any planting, Ash, you've only just done decorations. I know that, I'm getting to it. It just so happens now, I don't know if that counts or not, guys, so you can tell me if I'm cheating. I said I wasn't going to use any stickers. The 2 that I've already got on there, do they count or do they not count? Because I'm not sure. I don't think they do, because I think they were already there, so that doesn't count. But if you want to disqualify me on that, you can. Now the only thing I have been made aware of while I was doing all of that was that my ink actually has gone through to the other page. So I'm just going to avoid stamping on the page if I can. So because of that, because I do have a to-do list a couple of to-do lists that I need to put in here. I'm going to make this one, so this is a Sassy Dreams planner, I think it's called Sassy, something like that. I got it at the Sydney Planner Markets, ready to go. I just need to avoid putting anything on here that's got ink, because I don't want to have to worry about trying to fix that up next week. So I'm just going to put the to-do there. And I do really want to use this. Sort of was going to plan on using it twice. I was going to put one on this top corner and then another one down here. But I don't want to use that black because I don't want it to go through. I'm going to stamp it in the green because I know it gives me a really cool impression because I've used it on other things already. But it also means that everything's not quite so black. So I'm just going to ink that up. And I know this doesn't bleed through either, so bonus points. So we've got that one there, and that one there. Nearly dropped it. And then I'm going to use some of these peas to kind of put in all my little notes. So because I've got so many peas, that shouldn't be a problem. So sadly, I don't have, oh, I've just had a thought. I have got another set that I can use for the gym ones anyway. This is the Plan On It Fitness one. So it's another one that I've not been hoarding, but certainly don't use as often as I should. I'm going to use one of these ones with hands because he's going to hold on to, I'm going to get him to hold on to it, the little sign that says gym. And so again, I'm going to cheat, put that in green so that it doesn't bleed through. Actually, what have I got behind that? That's okay, I can put that one in black because it doesn't matter if it bleeds through, because it's already got, okay, he can't hold on to it. So I'm just going to stamp gym right next to it. It's got a sticker behind it, so it wouldn't bleed through anyway. And then, so I need something for day off. Something for day off. I've got to put a face on him, don't I? I don't know if I'm so happy about going to the gym, but yeah, right, we'll call that. Okay, something for day off. Something for day off. Also got a couple of these little vine ones that I've already had cut out, so I'm just going to make sure I use them somewhere along the way as well. I think I'll just write day off in. So I'm just sort of placing these around the place just to see what they look like. Because I don't want to go too over the top now, because I'm already at the point that that's probably not a good idea. Also, anywhere I've got something that I need to cover up, I've got a couple of marks that I've kind of made along the way. Okay, so I'm just going to stick these last couple of peas down, and then we can wrap this up just with writing some extra bits in. So I'm going to go ahead and stick them down really fast. That's what I'm finished up with. So I've got all the little happy faces on all of the peas. Just doing some little sort of jumping lines on the ones sort of jumping out of the thing. What I thought I'd do is with the the days off ones that I haven't got something for, I'm just gonna fix up these banners and turn them into little banners, and I can just write day off on here. So they're not going to be as good as the proper ones, obviously. Actually, let's do it that way instead. Make it a flat line. Go that way. Turn it into a flag instead of a banner. That's where I'm going to leave it. But you still, oh hold on, actually one more thing. Sorry, this is my bad, I forgot. So I'm just going to use one of these other ones. I'm going to use this sort of upside down one. I'm going to use that the same way I've used everything. We used the ones for the days off. So we have a house inspection on Monday. So you're probably sitting there going, oh, hold on, but you don't have your footy details. Yeah, I'm one step ahead of you. And I've made this. So if you saw Wednesday's video last Wednesday, you would have seen that I got my reveal wheel, and I've made a reveal wheel with the peas. Oh, that's what I want to do still. So you've got the little, on the back is a little space that I can put my footy details. I'm going to do that off camera later because I think this video's gone long enough. But it's going to sit right there in the middle, and it says yippee and be happy, and then as you spin it around you get all the different kinds of peas with different faces, and they're all so happy. I just love that. So the very last thing I'm going to do is just add a little bit of white gel pen. This is again something I've learnt by watching way too much Lawn Fawn. Oh, he doesn't have a face. This little pea doesn't have a face. You better fix that. So I'm going to add just a little bit of white gel pen to some of these, which just gives it that really shiny look, which I just think looks really cute. And if you put them in different places, do the same thing with the leaves here. It just looks cool. Things I'm learning. Have my P week. Oh, I don't quite think that was worth the hour and a half it took me to do it. And obviously this video isn't going to go for an hour and a half, so you guys don't have to put up with that. But I love that. I think that is seriously one of the most creative, at least, weeks I've ever done. I think it just looks really cool. I'm hoping you guys love it as much as I do. Let me know down below if you do. Let me know too if you'd like me to try this with another stamp set, if there's one that you know that would work. There's a couple of really cool Christmas ones that I think this could work really nicely with as well. So let me know down below. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, etc, etc, and we'll see how this goes, because I did really enjoy doing this. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give it that thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything. This week is my live video. It's on Wednesday night. We can discuss everything then. You guys know I just love my live videos. They're just my favourite time of the month. So if you want to come and hang out with me, it's on Wednesday night at 8 PM. Other than that, guys, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic week, and I will see you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!